Hey, welcome everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome to a presentation of our opening day 1982 Strat-O replay. Now, I'm showing off this card set which I have for sale. It's a classic card set. It's not the super advanced, but just the advanced. It's got the basic and the super advanced, and the cards are a little bit yellow. Generally speaking, it's one card out of a set that may have some pencil, like the batting average, lefty righty batting average for a particular player or for a particular pitcher information. But there's very limited writing on any of the cards. They're fairly, I'd say they're in above average shape, not in excellent untouched, unplayed shape, but they're in above average shape. Limited damage of any kind. There's no rubber band marks on these cards from what I have seen so far. Like I said, about one card per team will have the writing. Let me show you the card here that I believe has that. I found one. Don Sutton has some writing in pencil on this card. And you can see that there on top. And you can probably erase this and it won't be even noticeable. Don't really care to do that, really. It just gives you his batting average against left-handers and his batting average against right-handers. Whoever had this set before me did that to it. Anyway, we're playing opening day, 1982 Cardinals. The Cardinals went on to beat the Brewers in 7 games. The final game was a score of 6-3. So the Cardinals were world champs that year, and they had one of my favorite players of all time, Keith Hernandez, who rolls Strat-O. So the lineup, we're going to get started. It's going to be Nolan Ryan, as you can see, against Bob Forsch. Nolan Ryan, you can look at his stats. He was 16-12 with a 3.16 ERA. Bob Forsch, the ace for the Cardinals, was 15-9 with a 3.48 ERA. So we're expecting to see a real pitcher's duel, hopefully. We don't have to make a lot of changes, and this game will fly by. I didn't write too much information on any of these players, but I could do that as I go. It's going to be leading off, and the center fielder for E12. It's going to be Lonnie Smith, followed by Tommy Herr, the second baseman. And it's going to be Keith Hernandez and Darryl Porter in the cleanup spot. Batting fifth is George Hendrick. Batting sixth is Dane Org. Batting seventh is Braun, but he's being replaced by Ramsey because I don't have a Braun card. He had only 70 at-bats, and Strat-O does not give you all the players. Although this set does come with the additional players, Braun doesn't seem to be one of the additional players. So, and I don't want to make him. I could create him, but I didn't want to bother to do that. Then it's Ozzie Smith. It's shortstop. Batting eighth. Batting ninth is Bob Forsch. We're going to get started. The way you play Strat-O is you roll the 2 D6. Well, you roll 3 D6. One of them is going to be a column, and then the other 2 are going to be basically a row, I guess, 2 to 12. So let's do that. That's Lonnie Smith against Nolan Ryan. And here goes. Oh, that's a foul ball. So 0-1 the count on Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith bats from the right side. Now on the advanced side, which is what I'm using, lefty-righty splits, it doesn't give you the stats. So for me to know the stats, I would like to see them there. So for me to know the stats, 307, Lonnie Smith batted 307. He put a full season, almost 600 at-bats. So here goes. That's a 5, column 5, which is off the pitcher against a right-handed batter. So we're looking against a right-handed batter on the right side of Nolan Ryan's card, a 12. And that's going to be a comebacker to Ryan, feels his position, and throws out Smith. So 1 up, 1 down. Generally, the way I do this is I move the, let me make sure that the lighting is okay so you can see everything. And I'm seeing there's a little bit of issue. Let's see there. Still having an issue there. Let's see. Hold on. There we go. Much better now. Much better. And get some space here. I think pretty much you can see this. Let me pull these over just a tad. No, we don't want to do that. I want to maybe go into this direction. There we go. I think you can see the whole card now. There we go. Okay. All right, so 1 up, 1 down so far. And it's Tommy Herr. He's a switch hitter. He's batting from the left side against Nolan Ryan, a right-handed pitcher. So here's the pitch. And it's a one column off of Tommy Herr against a righty. So that's going to be on the right side. And a 1-5 is ball 4. So Nolan Ryan walks Tommy Herr. And Herr is an A base stealer. And I really like the base stealing system of the Super Advanced. Not really a big fan of this base stealing system. But we will be stealing bases today because that's how the St. Louis Cardinals, they were really a team that really used the stolen base as a major asset, as a major part of their game. So he's an A base stealer. That's 1/15. Nolan Ryan has a hold rating I don't think that comes into play with the advanced. Yeah, it doesn't come into play. There's no hold rating here from what I can see. Yeah, so we don't have that. So I guess it's a straight up 1/15. If he's being held on, which he is, that's a -2 automatically. So that's a 1/13. So we're going to try to steal. And that's a 2. So that is actually a potential pass ball or a balk. So we're going to do, I guess, 1, 2, 3 pass ball. And it's a 4, so it's a potential balk. And I don't have balk numbers on these cards either from what I see. Because I usually play Super Advanced, so I guess there's none of that here from what I can see. I don't see a balk number. So none of that happens from what I understand. That's a 10. That's going to be a stolen base. So in at second is Tommy Herr. So I'm going to have to simplify this all. And Tommy Herr is on second base, and it's Keith Hernandez comes to the plate. He's a left-handed batter. I'm going to roll to see, again, there's no wild pitch here. Haven't played this in a while off the top of my head. Again, the advance has wild pitches on the cards, and this is the super advanced. This is just the advance, so I don't see any of that. So, all right. So I guess I don't have to throw that die anymore. That's a 3-9. 3-9 is off the batter card. 3-10, excuse me. 3-10, and that's a fly ball, right field, shallow right field. Racing in is the right fielder, I believe it's, who's out there? Scott Cruz, I believe it's Cruz in right field. Let me take a quick peek at the lineups again. I did not write the right fielder is Terry Poole. Terry Poole's in right. Center fielder is Scott. At second base is Garner, and left field is Cruz. So that's an F9. So that's 2 out. And it's George Hendry. Nope, it's the cleanup batter, Darryl Porter. Darryl Porter, another left-handed hitter. And that's a 2-11. Off Porter at 2-11 is a ground ball to the first baseman. First baseman, I believe, is Art Howe. Gathers it up, steps on the bag, and that retires the side. So a little bit clunky there. The first half of the inning was a little bit clunky. Ashby is the catcher for the Astros, and we'll go over this in a second. Third baseman is Knight. First baseman is Howe. Shortstop is Reynolds. Pitcher, okay, leading off for the Astros is going to be the right fielder, Terry Poole, then followed by Tony Scott, the center fielder. Phil Garner, the second baseman. In the cleanup spot is Jose Cruz. Batting fifth is the catcher, Alan Ashby. Batting sixth is the soon-to-be a Met, Knight. Art Howe, the first baseman. Batting seventh. Batting eighth is Craig Reynolds. And then batting ninth is Nolan Ryan. So here comes Terry Poole leading it off. He's a left-handed batter. All right, that's going to be against a lefty. That's going to be a 4-6, and that's a ground ball. Second base X. Now, our second baseman, Tommy Herr, is a 2E12. I'm going to write that down. And a 2E12. And that's a 15. He gets to that one and whips it over to first and throws out Poole. 4-3. One up, one down. Next is Tony Scott. Switch hitter batting lefty against the right-hander Bob Forsch. And that's a 6. A 6-7. That's a fly ball, right field. Right there is Hendrick, settles under it, makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Phil Garner is next. He's a right-handed hitter. That's off the 6 column, a 6-5, and that's a ground ball. Chopped slowly to second, and coming in is her and throws out Garner. 3 up, 3 down. George Hendrick leading off the top of the second, no score. That's a 3-9, and that's ball 4. So Hendrick leads off with a walk against Nolan Ryan. And the next batter is going to be Dane Org, Ramsey, the third baseman, and then Ozzie Smith. Try to get this in. I'm going to move this up just a little bit to continue to get the die rolls in there. All right, so George Hendrick walks. He's on at first. He's a deep base stealer, so he won't be running. Dane Org, left-handed batter. That's a 1-3. A 1-3 versus a right-handed hitter. That's lined and caught by the shortstop. Craig Reynolds right there. Hit on the screws, but right at Craig Reynolds. And next is Mike Ramsey replacing Braun, who we did not get a card for. This is something that happens very often with Strat-O-Matic. You're not going to get cards for a lot of times, so you got to have replacement players. Mike Ramsey is a switch hitter, playing third base today. At third base, he is a 3E12, so we're going to write that in, 3E12, in case we need it. Here's the pitch to Ramsey. And that's a 2 snake eyes. A 2 snake eyes is a hit by pitch. So he gets plunked. He's on at first. So Nolan Ryan's wild in these first 2 innings. He's walked 2 and struck a batter, Mike Ramsey. So it's first and second. And it's Ozzie Smith. And it's a 4-10. That's going to be off Nolan Ryan. Ozzie Smith's batting lefty, a 4-10. And that is an N home run. Now, Ozzie Smith is an N against left-handers, so it's not going to be a home run. It's going to be a single. Oh, actually, it's a split die. And an 11 is a single. So bases are going to be loaded. Ozzie Smith bloops one out there. Both runners held up to see if it was going to drop in. Dropped in front of the center fielder, Scott. Got a late jump on that ball. Bases are loaded for the pitcher, Bob Forsch, and we're using a pitcher hitting card 3 for Bob Forsch. That's what he is, a 3. Bats right-handed batter. And that's a 4. That's going to be off Nolan Ryan's card, and that's a 4-4, and that's a catcher X. A 6. Porter, Darryl Porter, we didn't even look to see what he, no, it's going to be Ashby. And Ashby's a 3E11. And we roll, what, a 6? And that's going to be a wild pitch and a pop-up. So wild pitch is going to allow a run to score. Ball bounces in front of the plate and gets by Ashby all the way to the backstop. Henry comes in to score. Both runners move up, second and third now. And the next pitch, and Bob Forsch pops it up. Under it is Ashby. So that's 2 outs. And we go to the leadoff batter, Lonnie Smith. It's a right-handed batter. The pitch from Ryan, that's a 2-5, and that's a hard-hit ground ball right at the shortstop. Reynolds flips to second baseman Gardner, and that retires the side. 6-4. Force out. And the Cards pick up a run. They lead at 1-0 with the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, Bob Forsch facing Cruz, Jose Cruz. He's a left-handed hitter. And that's a 6-8 split die double single. And that's going to be one hop off the wall, hustling around first and into second base standing with a leadoff double is Jose Cruz. Alan Ashby, the switch hitter, batting from the left side. And that's a 6-11. 6-11 is going to be a ground ball shortstop X. Ozzie Smith. What is Ozzie Smith? I don't think we wrote that in. He's a 1E16. A 1E16. We're going to roll a 7. And that's a ball that Ozzie Smith gets to. And that's going to he's going to look Cruz back to second. So it's a 6-3, one away. Stepping to the plate is Ray Knight, right-handed hitter, third baseman. It's 3E18. We're going to write that in. And here's the pitch from Bob Forsch. That's a 4 against a righty, a 4-9er, and that's line base hit to left. Cruz's speed, to see if we're going to try to score him. He's a 16 running speed. 16 running speed. The left fielder, Dane Org, is an arm +2, so he's an 18, and he scores. RBI single for Ray Knight. Throw not in time. Game is tied at 1 apiece here in the second inning on the single by Ray Knight. Art Howe with the runner on first. And it's a 3-10 against a righty, 3-10, and that's going to be a split. A 1 is a single, and we roll a 19. That's going to be a line out to the shortstop. 6. Ozzie Smith comes up with it. 2 out. Craig Reynolds, he's a 4E31. Not a very good shortstop. 4E31. And here's a pitch. And swung on. It's a 3-7. That's a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. And hustling over to third is Ray Knight, first and third. I mean, he was going on contact. First and third, and now it's Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan is a pitcher hitting card. Uno, that's a 1. And we'll see who it comes off of. It's going to be off of Forsch's card. A 4-3. Nolan Ryan is a right-handed batter. A 4-3 is a ground ball back to the pitcher. And the pitchers are 2 in this game. That's a 20. And that's a ball that is handled by Forsch. And he flips to first base, and that retires the side. But the Astros pick up a run, and it's tied at 1 apiece. So leading off, the top of the third is Tommy Herr against Nolan Ryan. And that's a 6er. Tommy Herr bats from the left side. That's a 6-3 fly ball right field X. The right fielder is Terry Poole. He's going to be a 2E4. There's a lot of checks on this one chart. That's a 12. What did I say? It was a 2E4. A 12 is going to be a. Going to have to roll on his error. And that's an E4. Going to roll the 2D6 and see what happens. That's a 9er. And that's a ball that he catches up to. So a nice catch in right field by Terry Poole. F9. One away, top of the third. Next is Tony Scott. And he bats from the left side. That's a 6-6, and that's a ground ball. Shortstop X. Shortstop is Reynolds. That's a 4E31. He just rolled a 1 there, I believe. A 4E31, and that's going to be a ground ball and through the hole for a base hit. A 1-out single for Tony Scott. Scott is a B base stealer. That was not Tony Scott. Hold on a second. That was Keith Hernandez. I'm sorry. Keith Hernandez, but all that was off the pitcher's card. So that didn't really. So Hernandez is a B base stealer, and a B base stealer is a 1-13. He's being held, so it's a 1-11, and our catcher, Darryl Porter. Oh, I'm sorry. Alan Ashby is a 3-11. Arm is +2, so that's a 13. So there goes Keith Hernandez, and stolen base for Keith Hernandez. Throw not in time. Darryl Porter, the batter. So Alan Ashby let it fly, quick release, but Hernandez had too good of a jump. And here's a pitch. It's a 4-8, and that's going to be a split die double or line out to right field, and that's in the gap. And oh, great catch by Terry Poole to rob Darryl Porter of a double. Next is George Hendrick. And he's a right-handed batter, a 3-5. And the 3-5 is, that's a deep drive left field. And back goes the left fielder Cruz to the track, to the wall, looks up, gone. 2-run home run, 3-1 Cards. So George Hendrick showing off some muscle, busts the fence for a 2-run shot. And you know that Nolan Ryan wishes he had that pitch back. Next is the lefty Dane Org with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's a 5-11. 5-11 is a fly ball center field X. Again, our center fielder is Scott. And Scott is a 2E7. We roll the 13. And he makes the catch. So that retires the side, but the Cards pick up 2 runs. They lead at 3-1 on a 2-run home run by George Hendrick. All right, it's Bob Forsch facing Terry Poole, leadoff batter. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-4. And that's going to be a hard hit ground ball, backhanded by the third baseman, Ramsey. Long throw to first, in time. Poole is out. Tony Scott next. And that's a 2-5, and that's popped up. Right side. Right there is Hernandez. 2 up, 2 down. Pitch from Forsch. It's a 5-8 against a righty, a 5-8. That's Garner at the plate, and that's popped up. Middle of the infield. Second baseman, Herr, makes the catch. And that's 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 4th. We need a couple of those quick innings here. Hey there, Nolan. Benny Blades in the house. And Bearsden. Love Strat-O-Matic. All right. Let me see. Let me make sure. I got some light on my score sheet. Now I can see it. All right, Ramsey leading it off here in the top of the fourth. It's 3-1 Cards. That's going to be a 3-7, and that's going to be strike three, and that is the first strikeout by Nolan Ryan in this game. Next batter is Ozzie Smith. He's a switch hitter, and that's a 5-7. That's strike three, back-to-back Ks for Nolan Ryan, and it's the pitcher. And it is going to be off the pitcher's card at 111, and he's a pitcher hitting card 3, and that's a ground ball and through for a base hit. So a 2-out single by Bob Forsch brings up Lonnie Smith. The pitch to Lonnie Smith, that's a 1-7, and that's going to be a split die double single. And that's going to fall in there. Cut off by Scott. And over to third is Forsch, first and third. So they have a little bit of a rally mounting here with 2 outs in the top of the fourth against Nolan Ryan. He's going to be facing Tommy Herr, switch hitter, batting lefty versus Ryan. Tommy Herr batted .266, played about 500 at bats worth. So Nolan Ryan looks in for the sign, sets and deal, 2 outs, first and third, top of the fourth, 3-1 Cardinals. And that's a 110. And that's going to be line drive, base hit center field. That's going to score a run. It's going to be 4-1 now. And over to third is Lonnie Smith. RBI single, 2-out clutch single by Tommy Herr. The Express has 2 Ks. All right, and both of those just came on back-to-back to Ramsey and Smith here in the top of the fourth inning. Keith Hernandez. Runners on first and third. And that's a 3-5, and that's ball 4. Bases loaded. Darryl Porter, left-handed hitter. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the fourth. 4-1 Cardinals. And that's a 3-7 and a 3-7. Strike 3. And that's his third strikeout of the game. And that retires the side here in the top of the fourth, but the Cards pick up a run on 2 hits and a walk, 3 hits and a walk. They lead it by a score of 4-1. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's going to be Cruz, Ashby, and Knight against Bob Forsch. Both aces in the opening game of 1982. The Astros finished 5th. The Astros had a record of 77-85 in 5th place. Jose Cruz. And that's a 3-4, and that's going to be a comebacker to Forsch. One away. Alan Ashby. It's a 1-7, and that's going to be a deep drive for Ashby. Uh-oh. And that ball is deep to left field, and that's gone. 4-2. Alan Ashby showing some muscle. Brings the Astros within 2 runs with that home run. It's his first home run of the year. And it's Ray Knight. Ray Knight singled in the first at bat, pitch from Bob Forsch. That's a 6-8, and a 6-8 is going to be a split die double single. That's driven in the gap. That's going to be cut off quickly by the center fielder, Lonnie Smith, to keep it to a single. So Ray Knight's on with a single. Ray Knight is not going to be stealing. Here's the pitch to Art Howe. Art Howe is a righty. That's a 5-5, and that's lined and caught by the shortstop. So Ozzie Smith stretches for it, makes a nice catch of the line drive. And Craig Reynolds, left-handed batter, shortstop. He's 1 for 1 so far. Here's a pitch. That's a 6-4, and that's popped up. Middle of the infield. Over is Smith, calls for it, makes the catch that retires the side. The Astros pick up a run, and going to the top of the 5th, it's 4-2 Cardinals. Point of weakness is the 7th for Forsch and the 8th for Ryan. So I expect to see these guys in there for a while. Hopefully You don't have to make too many changes. George Hendrick is 1 for 1 with the home run and a walk. He scored 2 runs. And that's a 4-7. 4-7, and that's strike 3. Fourth K for the Express. Dane Ort. And that's a 4-9er. 4-9er versus the lefty, and that's going to be a triple single split die. And that's lined in front of the right fielder, Poole, who plays it on a hop. Yeah, I think it looked like he considered diving for that ball, but at the last minute changed his mind. Kept it to a single. Ramsey now, he's a switch hitter. Ramsey is our substitute player, subbing for the non-carded Braun, Steve Braun, who played third base in this opening day game. So Mike Ramsey actually did play. That's foul back. Ramsey did play in this game, but as a substitute, came in later in the game. So I put him as a starter to solve that issue. So Nolan Ryan looks in for the sign. Sets and deals. That's a 6 or 8 against the switch hitter batting left. The 6-8 is ball 4, first and second. So Nolan Ryan, I think, has been in trouble in every single he's had a man in scoring position in every single inning in this game. Ozzie Smith, switch hitter. Ozzie Smith batted .248, 500 at bats, 2 home runs. Against Nolan Ryan with 1 out. Here's a pitch. That's a 1-7. And that's ball 4. Bases are loaded. Now, I'll tell you, that is walk number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 walks for Ryan in this game and a hit by pitch. Bob Forsch singled and scored a run. He's a 3-pitcher hitting card. We want to stay away from his 1 column. Here's the pitch. And that's the infield is going to be in for the Astros. That's a 2-6. And a 2-6 is a strikeout. So that's the second out. And that's the 5th strikeout for Nolan Ryan. Leadoff batter Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith had a heck of a season, batted .307, 35 doubles. It's crunch time for Nolan Ryan here. There's action in the bullpen. Can't make out the numbers on the back of those shirts out there. Got to grab my binoculars. Absolutely not on his A game tonight, Rick. Absolutely not. Nolan Ryan versus Lonnie Smith, top of the 5th, bases loaded. Orrick singled with 1 out. Then it was back-to-back walks to Ramsey and Smith. Then Forsch, the pitcher, struck out. There's 2 outs, top of the 5th, bases loaded. Lonnie Smith, he's 1 for 3. He grounded out twice and singled. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-7, a 1-7. That's going to be a split die, double single. At least 2 runs will score here, and that's going to be it for Ryan. And that's going to be dropped in there for a single, cut off quickly by the center fielder, Scott. In is Orrick, followed by Ramsey. To third is Smith. And it's going to be a 6-2 lead now for the Cardinals in this opening day game. So it's a 2-run, 2-out single by Lonnie Smith, his 2nd hit of the game. And that looks like it's going to be it for Nolan Ryan, for the ace. And we're going to quickly take a look at this game and see who came in for Nolan Ryan. Actually, Nolan Ryan didn't do very well in this game. Gave up 8 hits and 6 runs in 3 innings. And then you had Gordy Platson. Let's see if we can find Gordy Platson to come in. Let's see if he's carded. Sometimes they're carded and you got to go to other teams when they're traded and track them down. Let's see if I can find Gordy Platson here. Gordy Platson. So Gordy Platson could be carded. Let's check and see if he's carded with another team. He was not traded. He played with Houston, and he only pitched in 2 games. So obviously he's not going to be carded. Not with Strat, that's for sure. All right, so next pitcher is Lacoste, Mike Lacoste. And after that is Dave Smith. Mike, what did I say? Mike Lacoste. I don't think I have any of these pitchers in here. So I don't have any of those. I don't even have Dave Smith or Joe Sambito. Oh, I'm looking at the Cardinals. That's why I don't have any of those players. That's what happens when you look at the wrong team. You're not going to get the guys you want. All right, here you go. Let's look at who we're looking for. We're looking at Gordy Platson. I think I did see his name before. I don't know off the top of my head. Gordy Platson with the Astros. No, I do have Mike Lacoste, so I can bring in Mike Lacoste. All right. Let's bring in Mike Lacoste to replace Nolan Ryan. And Ryan went 4 2/3, 4.2. We'll work out the other information later. He's going to pitch to Tommy Herr. Mike Lacoste to Tommy Herr. Here's a pitch. And that's going to be a 5. Lacoste is a righty, so he's batting lefty. A 5-5, and that's going to be a ground ball, second base X. Second baseman is Garner. And we never really looked at Garner's data to know his rating. It's easy 3E17 at second base. It's a 3E17 at second base. I'm going to roll the 20-sided die. It's an 11. 11 is a ball that he does, perhaps he may or may not get to. Let's see what happens. So it's a ground ball up the middle, basically. And we're going to roll, what did I say was? He was E17. We rolled a 3 on an E17 and gets to it and bobbles it. The throw to first, not in time. And the scoreboard flashes E4. So Garner commits an error here. And that's going to allow Smith to score. But that's going to be an unearned run. Should have been the 3rd out of the inning there. And going to second is Smith. First and second now. And it's Keith Hernandez. So a little bit of sloppy play there by the Astros. Hence their 5th place finish in 1982. This is a classic card set. And this is annoying. It's like a lot of glare there with that. I cover some of these cards with the sleeves. All right, here's a pitch to Keith Hernandez. Runners on first and second. So far, the Cards have scored 3 runs in this inning, and they lead it by a score of 7-2. Here's a pitch that's a 1-8 against a right-hander, and a 1-8, and that's a ground ball shortstop. Reynolds flips to the second baseman, Garner, and that retires the side. But the Cards pick up 3. They lead it 7-2. And we are going to have it looked like there was a double switch in that inning that we didn't call out. And let's see exactly what that double switch was. That was David Green came in. And I hope I have David Green on this team. On Houston. I should have David Green. Let's see. I have Dickie Fawn, Harry Spillman, Dickie Fawn, Danny Heap, Bill Doran, Danny Walling. I don't have him. So now let me see. So no Green. Let's see if he was No, he played the whole. Oh, wait a sec. I should have him. Had 166 at bats with the Cardinals. David Green, not Danny Green, but David Green. Bill Doran, Denny Walling, Danny Heap, Dickie Fawn, Harry Spillman, and the rest of them are all. Again, I'm looking at the Cardinals. I'm screwing up. Both these teams are pretty unknown for me, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. All right, Danny Heap came in, and so did Denny Walling. Okay, so we're going to use Danny Walling. Danny Walling came in to play. So Walling instead of Green. Hold on a second. I got to get my bearings. I don't play Strat-O all that much, so I haven't played in a while, so my bearings are a little bit off. Denny Walling can play first base, so he's going to be put at first base, replacing Howe. And Lacoste came in there, and he's batting where Art Howe was. All right, so Denny Walling, and Walling is going to be a third base 3E13. Okay, so we got that. All right, the Houston Astros. Let's get the Astros here. And Denny Walling is leading off against Bob Forsch. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 5 off the pitcher. A 5-5 is a ground ball second base. Up with it is her. Whoops it over to first. One up, one down. Leading off is going to be Terry Poole. Pitch from Forsch. Bottom of the 5th. And that's a 6-7. It's a fly ball, right field. Shallow right field, racing in is Hendrick, and he gets there. F9. 2 down. Scott with 2 out, bottom of the 5th. Pitch from Forsch. That's a 2-6. A 2-6 is line and caught by the shortstop Smith, and that retires the side. All right, we are in the top of the 6th inning. Darryl Porter, George Hendrick, and Dane Org. Score is 7-2, Cardinals, against Mike Lacoste. He's a right-hander. It's going to be Darryl Porter. Pitch to Darryl Porter, a lefty. That's a 5-7, and that's ball 4. So I noticed that the Cardinals have a tendency to walk a lot. This is their 6th walk of this game. They got 5 walks against Ryan, and now a walk against Lacoste. George Hendrick now. George Hendrick is 1 for 2. He's got a home run and a strikeout and walked. Got 2 runs scored. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-6. A 3-6, and that's a deep drive. That's going to be a split. Deep drive to left field. Back goes the left fielder, Cruz, and makes the catch at the warning track. So it's a deep drive for Hendrick, but just stayed in the park, barely. And now it's Dane Ork, and that's a 5-9er. 5-9er, ground ball, second base. Only 1 play, and that's the first. Porter over to second. Mike Ramsey with 2 outs. Pitch from Lacoste. That's a 3-4. And it popped up. Left side, shortstop, Reynolds. Makes the catch. And that retires the side. We go to the bottom half of the 6th. 7-2. Cardinals. Garner, Cruz, and Ashby versus Bob Forsch. That's foul back. Souvenir for a lucky fan. It's a 1-9er, and that's going to be a triple-double split. Pulled down the line, and that's going to bounce all the way to the wall. Cutting it off quickly is the left fielder, or gets it in, and Garner stops at second with a leadoff double. Down by 5 runs. He's not going to be stretching that into a triple. Jose Cruz, pitch from Forsch. That's a 5-10, and that's a fly ball center field. That's going to be caught. So it's F9. I'm sorry, F8. 1 out. Ashby. A 4-9. And a 4-9 is line base hit. Garner's going to stop at third. First and third now. Ray Knight. Pitch to Ray Knight. That's a 6-3. 6-3, and that's a ground ball first base. That's going to get a run home. It's going to be the second out of the inning. Over to second is Ashby. 3 unassisted. Slow chopper to first base. Hernandez only had 1 play, and that was the first. Art Howe. I'm sorry. It's going to be Mike Lacoste. And we're going to have to bring in a pinch hitter for the Astros. Who's that going to be? Who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? Let's see. Mike Ivy's on this team. Danny Heap is going to pinch hit. Danny Heap. Pinch hitter Danny Heap against Bob Forsch. Runners on second base. 2 outs. That's a 4-7. 4-7 is a line drive base hit single, and around to score is Ashby. The throw home is cut off. Our 2-out single by pinch hitter Danny Heap makes it a 7-4 ball game. Greg Reynolds is up. Pitch from Forsch, a 1-10. And a 1-10 is going to be a fly ball, shallow center field. Racing in is Smith and gets there. And that retires the side. But the Astros pick up 2 runs. And they're within 3 runs now. Score is 7-4. Top of the 7th is going to be Smith, Forsch, and Smith again. We're going to need a new pitcher for the Astros. Vern Rule, Randy Moffett. These are some of the guys they had here as relief pitchers. Lacoste, Dave Smith, Joe Sambito. Let's see if I can – Dave Smith is there. Okay, let's bring in Dave Smith. So Smith is going to come in. Smith was 5-4 with a 3.84 ERA. Dave Smith. So it's Smith to Smith. Ozzie Smith, here's the pitch, and that's foul back. Souvenir for lucky fan. And that's a 3-4. Righty versus lefty. So versus a right-hander, that's a 3-4, and that's line base hit center field. There's a right-handed pitcher. Leadoff single for Ozzie Smith. Next is Bob Forsch, and he's going to bunt. Let's see. That's an 11. Sacrifice 11 pops up. First baseman Walling is there. So fails to do the fundamentals. Bob Forsch fails to perform the fundamentals and get the runner over with a bunt. Ghostbusters, who are you going to call? All right, so 1 out and 1 on here in the top of the 7th inning. Lonnie Smith and Tommy Hurt. Pitch from Dave Smith to Lonnie Smith. Again, the Smith connection. That's a 3-8, and that's going to be a fly ball. Skied center field. Under it is Scott. 2 outs. And Ozzie Smith may be going. Let's take a quick peek at his running. He's an A base stealer. We're going to roll and see what happens. That's a 9. That's a stolen base for Ozzie Smith. I don't even have to check it because I know an A is like 1 to 15, -2 for being held, 1 to 13. Unless Forsch is something. Oh, there's no hold rating on Forsch. That's it. All right, Tommy Hurt now with a runner on second base in scoring position, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Smith. That's a 6-4. A 6-4 versus a lefty is strike 3, and that retires the side. Big strikeout for Smith. Go to the bottom of the 7th. 7-4 Cardinals. Denny Walling leading it off. He's 0 for 1, grounded out against Bob Forsch. Forsch can get he gets tired in the 7th, so this is his point of weakness inning. And that's going to be a 6-4, and that's going to be popped up, middle of the infield. Right there is Smith, makes the catch. Top of the order, Terry Poole. Pitch from Forsch, 5-4. Fly ball center field. We're looking at that's a catch by the center fielder. 19. I don't see that. The center fielder is he's a 4. Roll 20. That's Lonnie Smith in center field. Not a very good center fielder. And he's a 4 out there. And a 4 on a 20 is going to make the catch. So a little hesitant, but caught up to it. And with 2 out now, it's Scott. Tony Scott. Here's the pitch from Forsch. That's a 4-6. 4-6 versus a lefty again, and that's a ground ball second base X. That's a 1. Oh, that's a base hit. So that's through. Her is a 2, and that's a 1. That's going to be a base hit against the 2 second baseman. Yeah. Only if he were a 1 would he have gotten to it. So a 2-out single by Tony Scott. And that's Phil Garner. A 1-4 against a righty. That's a fly ball, shallow left field. Back goes third base. Ramsey, in comes Org, and Org makes the catch. Top of the 8th. Keith Hernandez leading it off against Dave Smith. And that's a 6-8, and that's a 114 as a single. Base hit for Keith Hernandez. Darryl Porter. And that's a 6-7. 6-7 popped up, middle of the field. Second baseman Garner calls for it, makes the catch. 1 away. 2-8. And that's a ground ball hit hard right at the third baseman. Goes to second for 1. Back to first. 5-4-3. Double play. Nice double play turned by Knight to second baseman Garner and then to Wally. 5-4-3 round the horn. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-4 Cardinals. Astros are bringing up Cruz. Ashby and Knight. Here's the pitch to Cruz. That's a 1-12. 1-12 is a hard hit ground ball shortstop. Smith up with it. Long throw to first. Oh, gets him by half a step. Nice play by Ozzie Smith. Knew that Cruz could jet down that line. And Alan Ashby. That's a 2-8. And that's strike 3. Ashby down swing. 2 up, 2 down. And that's Ray Knight. That's a 2-5. And that's a ground ball backhanded by the third baseman. Ramsey, long throw to first in time, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the top of the ninth. Top of the ninth is Org, Ramsey, and Smith. Here's the pitch. Smith to Org. 1-3. That's a ground ball. Chopped to second. Garner throws him out. 1 up, 1 down. Ramsey next. A 3-6. And again, hard hit liner. 1 hop. Garner throws him out. And Ozzie Smith with 2 outs. Top of the ninth. That's fouled off. Pulled. Foul. It's a 1-8. And that's ball 4. Oh, no, wait. Yep, ball 4. 2-out walk by Dave Smith. Bob Forsch is going to bat for himself. Going to try to get him to go the complete game. 1-6 ground ball shortstop. Reynolds flips to Garner, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Bob Forsch is going to face a pinch hitter for Dave Smith. 7-4 Cardinals. The Astros are going to be bringing up Nicely. So he's their catcher, Nicely. All right, what did I do? It's not there. Here it is. Alan Nicely is going to bat against Forsch. In the bottom of the ninth, 7-4 Cardinals. It's going to be Nicely, the pinch hitter, Reynolds, and then Walling. Here's the pitch from Forsch. That's a 3-4. And that's a ground ball to third base. 1 away. Reynolds is next. Let's see if we can track Reynolds here. There he is. Pitch to Reynolds. That's a 2-8. And that's a line out to the first baseman. L3. 2 up, 2 down. The Astros are down to their last out. Walling came in the 4th inning to replace Art Howe at first base with a double switch. And he's 0 for 2 from that point. He grounded out and then he popped up to the shortstop. So the Astros are down to their last out. The score is 7-4. Bob Forsch is 1 out away from a complete game victory. He's allowed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits. Is the pitch to Walling. It's a 2-2. And that's line and caught by the second baseman, and that is the ball game. The Cardinals win it by a score of 7-4 using our 1982 Strat-O card set. A classic card set, retro card set from 1982. No super advanced on this set, but if you're interested in picking it up, you are welcome to it. So 7-4 Cardinals. Bob Forsch gets the win. Complete game victory for Bob Forsch. Allowed 9 hits, 4 runs. 4 earned runs. How many did he walk? Didn't walk any. Struck out 1. Struck out 1. Allowed 1 home run. Went 9 complete. For the victory, he's 1-0 on the season. The loss is going to go to the Ryan Express. Ryan gave up, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hits, 5 walks. Struck out 5, I believe. Gave up a home run to Hendrick, 2-run shot, and allowed all the runs. Allowed 7 runs. Very interesting because in reality in this game, Nolan Ryan allowed 6 runs on 8 hits, walked 2, struck out 5 in 3 innings. In this game, he went 4.2, 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 walks, and 5 strikeouts as well. There was 1, 2, yeah. Struck out 5 there. So that's going to be it for the St. Louis Cardinals opening day 1982. This is your home for tutorials and strategy, player profiles, history reviews, news, tips, tops, baseball cards, rants, unboxings, and so much more. Thanks for joining us in this presentation of the Strat-O-Matic 1982 advanced game. I'm used to playing the super advanced game. It has a few more bells and whistles that I'm used to, so it's a little bit took a little bit getting used to. But this is CP Cards and Dice, and I will talk to you guys and see you around. Bye now.